I got my Star-Lord jacket on, so let's talk about another Marvel movie! Also, I've got on my Nikki shirt because, you know, what else do I wear since, you know, where else do I go? Hashtag not sponsored, but should be sponsored. Black Panther is directed by Ryan Coogler and is the latest installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film stars Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan. The film picks up shortly after the events of Civil War and continues the story of T'Challa, who returns home to be crowned King of Wakanda, a country whose technology is secretly the most advanced on the entire planet. The country is thriving and successful, but one man comes knocking on their doorstep and challenges the new king for the crown. Now, I was a bit worried going into this movie. I've either really enjoyed or really loved the last couple of Marvel films, with the exception of Thor Ragnarok, but for whatever reason, I was just getting really strong Age of Ultron vibes from the Black Panther trailers. Now, what I mean by that is for Age of Ultron, we were getting trailers that showed the movie was actually going to be serious and a bit more darker than what the previous films had been. But what we ended up getting as an end product was a movie that opens up with a terrible sequence with terrible CGI and horrible special effects all over the place, and just terrible half-assed jokes every 3 seconds, and pretty much a story that was shoehorned out of the film just to include more setup for the following films that would be in the upcoming Phase 3. Now, with a lot of the newer Marvel films, they've done a good job at having more accurate trailers that show off what the movie's going to be more like, and they haven't had another film that's more set up than anything. But for whatever reason, I just couldn't shake the feeling that they were going to throw another bait and switch at us like that. So I went into this movie with cautioned expectations. They weren't low or anything, but I wasn't hyping myself up for the movie. I saw the film opening morning, and by the time that the credits rolled, my jaw was just on the floor. I loved this movie, you guys. I don't think that I've loved another Marvel film as much as I love this quite since The Winter Soldier. It is that good. It is a wonderful, wonderful film. Every performance in this film is absolutely wonderful and fun. Chadwick Boseman plays T'Challa so well. He is fun and capable, and you could see at times that he's even vulnerable. He's still learning to be the best leader that he can be, and you could still see that he's growing as a character from the events of Civil War. Every supporting character has their own moment to shine in this film, and I don't think there's a single character that feels underutilized in any way. But out of all the characters, the one that steals the show for me is Eric Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan as the film's lead antagonist, Killmonger, is easily the best thing of this film. The best movie antagonists often have a point of view where you can easily get behind them, where you can relate with them, and see where they're coming from, and this is perfectly what Killmonger is. Sure, he kills a lot of innocent people over the course of the film, but by the end of it, you can understand why he's doing what he's doing. By the end of the film, you're able to look back on him as a character, and you're able to say, I understand you, and I see where this guy is coming from. He really makes T'Challa have to look inside of himself when he practically comes to their front door and is like, hey, you have all this technology that could benefit the world, so why aren't you sharing it with the people who are being walked over, the people who are being oppressed? And he is just so easy to get behind. He is easily one of Marvel's best villains. He isn't the bad guy for the movie's sake of having an evil villain. He comes onto the set with his own beliefs that challenge the way the people of Wakanda have been living. And some characters in the film, as well as yourself, see where he's coming from and sympathize with his point of views. He is hands down one of the best villains that Marvel has ever had. Michael B. Jordan plays him with such charisma, and he adds so much character and personality into this villain. Every time he comes on the screen, you just feel his presence, and you feel a bit intimidated and kind of like, oh gosh, someone's probably gonna die right now. The original score for this movie is absolutely outstanding. It is very unique and it's different, and unlike a lot of previous Marvel films, it actually stands out while you're listening to it. It doesn't just kind of fade into the background and just help accompany a scene. It helps enhance the scene and what the feelings and the emotions are. It really helps build up the action sequences and makes them a bit more entertaining than what they already were. And it helps some of the dramatic moments as well. The visuals in this film are stunning. The way that the colors just pop off the screen and just drag you deeper into this world. Wakanda is completely developed, and it feels as if it's its own unique character. As for any negatives with the film that I had, I'd say that the first act runs a bit slow in terms of pacing. It's not bad. It just doesn't feel very unique. It just kind of feels like, oh, your typical superhero film where it's like, oh, hey, I've got you the new suit, and I've got you these new gadgets. Let's go take him out for a test run, because superheroing with the new stuff is always really, really cool. But, after that first act, the movie really picks up and becomes something a lot more special, I'd say. There are several moments of CGI that don't look very well at all, and it just completely stands out like a sore thumb. There's a very specific moment that I noticed early on in the movie where they're about to crown T'Challa as king of the country, and he looks up to this cliffside, and on the cliffside, you see there's all these people looking down at him as they're waiting for him to be crowned and stuff, and they're all like, yeah, but they look like they were just put in front of a green screen and very lazily slapped in front of this cliff face. It does not mesh well together, and the people just stick out entirely from this wall of rock that they're supposed to be standing on, and it just did not look well. And there's several moments in the movie that are kind of like that, and it kind of sucked me out of it for a split second. But I mean, it's not the worst gripe I could have about this movie. And the action wasn't entirely great. There's some cool little moments that they throw into the action sequences that are creative and fun that make you go, oh, okay, that was pretty cool. But as a whole, I don't think the action was very great or very memorable or anything. And with the CGI that would look a little wonky at times, there was definitely a bit of that kind of really stuck out during the action sequences. There's a scene where T'Challa picks up a table that Andy Serkis, who plays Ulysses Claw, fires upon, and there's a deck of cards that are just kind of raining down all over the scene, and those cards just stuck out terribly. They did not look well. It didn't even look like it was in similar lighting of the scene, and just kind of stuck out. But those are really my only gripes of the film. I loved a lot that this movie had to offer, and I think one of my favorite things about this movie is that is the way that it presents its themes. The movie isn't super preachy with the social commentary that it has to offer. It doesn't like hammer you over the back of the head like, hey, this is what the point of this movie is, this is what we're trying to say and everything. But it does plant little seeds in your mind to the point where you're walking out of the movie and you're reflecting on what you just experienced. Those points just kind of come up, and it's like, oh, hey, that's this movie can become a lot deeper whenever you're actually thinking about it, and it has some good social commentary mixed in there. Like I said before, the themes aren't beaten into your head or anything like that. They are explored as characters look into themselves and explore their beliefs and their point of views. Overall, guys, this movie is a total blast. I absolutely loved this film, and it's probably my favorite Marvel movie since The Winter Soldier. The film takes itself a lot more seriously than the previous Marvel films have, and I really enjoy that. People die in this movie, like in The Winter Soldier, people in the background and such. They die, and it really shows that the villain or the threat isn't afraid to take some lives to further their cause or anything. And it makes the stakes feel all the more real and all the more dangerous. And it builds a lot of tension for some characters in the movie as whether or not, like, they could die. I mean, if the movie's gonna show, like, people in the background getting killed and everything, then how safe can some of these characters in the film be? And it helps build up some of that tension, and it makes it feel like, in moments that a lot of movies have, for example, where, oh no, the person's cornered and they're about to get killed and the hero's too far away or something. And it makes you feel like, oh, okay, well, it's not like they're gonna bull their way out of it like Age of Ultron did, where they literally went out of their way to show that everyone in the background got saved. The movie instead has you feeling like, oh my god, the person might actually die right here. This is a dangerous situation, and there are stakes in this movie. The movie doesn't waste time in trying to set up future installments for the MCU, and every scene doesn't come to a screeching halt just to make a joke at the end of it. It focuses on one story and it tells the one story that it needed to tell. And I really enjoyed that. And I think the movie benefits greatly from having a bit more of a smaller scale. It doesn't worry about trying to be influenced by other films. It's a very closed-off story. And I think that benefited this movie very, very greatly. As I said before, it just focused on being the story that it needed to tell. This movie was a wonderful addition into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I cannot wait to see it again and eventually buy this movie on Blu-ray. I give Black Panther a 9 out of 10. Or an A? Or again, like whatever my rating system is, I don't know. Numerical, alphabetical, let me know in the comments what I should do. And I want to give a super special thank you to my friend Sammy for donating a tripod to me. So now I no longer have to dangerously balance my camera on top of a bunch of boxes and a wobbly table. I now have a tripod to give you all this wonderful image. Ooh, I'm liking that. John can't do it, but I can. I could wink. So, Black Panther. Have you guys had the chance to see this one yet? If you have, comment below. Let me know what you thought about the movie. What opinions of yours differ from mine. And if you like what you see here, then I've got several other movie reviews that you could probably go check out, as well as my best of and worst of 2017 movie list, where I kind of go over some movies that I haven't been able to review because, you know, I didn't have a camera to review those films. But if you want to see reviews for any of those or any other movies, really, just feel free to comment down below. I will look into any suggestions that you guys throw at me, and I will definitely try my hardest to put out a review for you guys. So yeah. Black Panther. Great, beautiful movie. I absolutely loved it. Okay, so, alright, so yeah. Comment, like, subscribe. Bye!